Can you... Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. We are just, 10, 20 minutes away from our second game of the day here at the FIVB Men's Grand Champions Cup. And I'm delighted to say that joining us will be Julius Brink from Germany, the London Olympic gold medalist, will be coming along and providing some expert analysis from this game and the one following that. But in the meantime, I'm delighted to be joined by Jessica Sheehan.
Thank you very, very much. It's a pleasure to be here, just to do this audio test. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Sounding good, sounding very good. Thank you very much.
Well, best of luck with the match today. I'm sure it's going to be extremely exciting, and you might see me in the court later.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jess.
Thank you.
The FIVB World Grand Champions Cup has come to Japan. The top 6 men's volleyballing nations from across the planet are battling it out for glory. Up next, Iran take on Italy, right here at the Nippon Geishi Hall in Nagoya. Well, hello and welcome to the Nippon Geishi Hall here in Nagoya. Clayton Lucas with you as we get ready for our second match of day 1 of the FIVB World Grand Champions Cup. And it's Iran taking on Italy, both teams just going through the warm-up at the moment. And I am delighted to be joined by Julius Brink. Julius Brink, world champion on the beach in 2009 and Olympic gold medalist from London 2012, representing Germany. Julius, pleasure to have you along. 2 quality teams out, and they're already up against it, aren't they, in this one? And it's game 1 for them.
Yeah, pleasure's on my side. Thanks for that introduction. Yeah, I'm quite excited to see them playing as well. I mean, it's the Asian champion, and Italy is a bit of a league, missing 2 players. But coming from the Euro champs, which has not been too successful for them. So I'm quite excited what to see and how they perform.
Yes, indeed, it's going to be a tough test, isn't it, for Italy. No Zaitsev for them through the opposite and no Wantarena through the outside. So that means the likes of Filippo Lanza is going to be carrying a lot of the hitting weight for Italy. But no doubt with the youngster Gianelli setting, a real beacon for Italian volleyball at such a young age, will be looking to distribute the ball well in order to get past this Iranian team. And Iran on their day can be so difficult to deal with. There is Gianelli going through his serving routine. The teams, for those of you that might be new to volleyball and watching what they're up to, they've been out training there's 2 training courts here, fully set up for them to train. They've come out now and having a hitting warm-up from the right side, the left side, and then they have a serving go. It gives a chance for the servers to get a feel for the court and also for the libros, the defensive specialists, to get a view and feel for how the ball is travelling. It's all very different being on a training court to what it is being on the centre court, on the match court. And so then with the warm-up now at an end, it's time for the players to line up, some protocols to be observed. Julius, national anthems for you, very proud moment representing your country, having your anthem played out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the moment where you actually realize that it's not a Champions League match or any friendly match. No, it's actually the moment where you play for a country, and over here you see everything is well prepared. People gonna stand up, it's silence, and it's a lot of respect. It's a very special moment for every athlete.
Certainly get the goosebumps going for some of the players and some of the fans watching as well, and the adrenaline will be running. All has to be tempered, and so they can focus on the match to come. This is the Iranian squad, plenty of talent and a few new faces, as you might expect in what is the beginning of a new Olympic cycle. So both teams now out onto court. It's time for the national anthems. We'll start with Iran and finish with Italy.
And now, the national anthem of Italy.
And so with the anthems over, the players now make their way back to the sidelines, ready for their introduction. But before we get to meet the players, we'll meet the referees in charge today. Paulo Turci of Brazil, the man on the left of your screen, is the first referee, and he'll be ably assisted by the very experienced, knowledgeable and likeable Andrei Zenovic of Russia. And no doubt, just like the players, there'll be a few nerves for the referees ahead of this one. They have an important job to do. But as always, we know if they've had a good game because we don't notice them. Well, a big test for both of these teams. There are no easy games at this level. This is a round-robin tournament, so with the 6 teams here, 5 matches to be played. 2 matches will be played here in Nagoya, and then it's a transfer day, and the teams make their way over to Osaka for the last 3 days of competition. And now it's going to be Iran who'll come out onto court first, starting with number 2, Eddabipour, going through the outside. Number 3, Fayazi, is middle blocking. This is how Iran are lining up. The captain, Maruf, is setting. Through the outside is Fahad Gaimi, number 5. Through the middle, number 6, Musavi. And in the opposite slot, number 10, Amir Ghafour. 2 liberos to choose from, number 8, Hedari, and number 19, Marandi. Be interesting to see how Iran use them. Sometimes we see a passing libero for side out and a defending libero when the team is serving. That is who Igor Kolakovic has decided to go with. There are plenty of Iranian fans in here, but there are also plenty of Italian fans as well as they make their way out onto court. Starting with number 4, Luca Vettori's in the opposite slot. This is how Italy will be lining up on the court. Number 6, Simone Gianelli setting, and then through the middle position is number 9, Mazzoni. Filippo Lanza, number 10, is through the outside. And then in the middle, number 14, Matti Piano, and making up the starting 6 is Oleg Antonov, number 16. He gets a shot as first 6 because Juan Terena isn't here. And 2 liberos for Italy, Fabio Balasso, number 7, and number 13, Massimo Colacci. That is who Gian Lorenzo Blengini has gone for. He knows he doesn't have his full-strength team. He certainly has a quality team. Italy and the Italian league, one of the strongest leagues in world volleyball, attracting many, many talented international players from around the world. So just a few seconds to go before we get this one underway. And no doubt there'll be a few nerves for these players, but once that whistle goes, that's it, they'll be off and playing. The second referee checking the rotations to make sure everyone is where they should be. And then once Mr. Zenovic is happy, the liberos come in. It'll be Massimo Colacci starting for Italy as the inside out. It's Iran in white serving, Italy in blue receiving. This is the second game from day 1 of the FIVB World Grand Champions Cup here in Nagoya, Japan. This the best of 5 sets to see who will get an opening tournament victory and a nice easy lead for Italy. Jump serving, such a key part of the men's game, but also high risk, isn't it? Balancing that moment of when to go for it and when not to.
Yeah, but I mean, we just watched Brazil playing on that court, and we've seen some incredible speed serves, and that's more or less the game they play. Even though, I mean, we watched a couple of matches on the Euro Champs, and I saw like big rallies coming up. So it's always the question about changes of regulations about net height or ball has to be bigger, but that's volleyball.
Certainly as the years have gone on, the athletes that much more physical, they get that much higher, hit the ball harder, but then the changes that volleyball has made to compensate that have been spectacular. Bringing in the libero, the defensive players, really has changed the game in that respect, hasn't it? Brought about more rallies.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you see these 2 leaders. One is at the net, is the setter, the brain, and then you have that libero. And you see many teams splitting that even up, having an advantage in defending. And though you see him in training just defending. So it's comparing beach and indoor. is so much specialization, and here you see many teams dealing with these two liberos, which I really like, because the smaller guys, even because of that change, you get big advantage to play on that level.
Always fascinates me as that spike goes down and Iran using the pipe. But when we get the starting lists and you see the stats for all the players, we get to see the spike height and block height of a libero, even though they're not allowed to do that.
It gives him a good feeling.
Certainly is. Sometimes see them as well and have the first hit in the warm-up just to show that, yeah, I may not be spiky, but I can do it if required. So unforced error from Italy. And Iran opening up an early lead in this game. Well, for all the players coming out onto this court, it's the first time they've been here at the Nippon Geisha Hall on the match court. It's a very different setup and feeling to what it is like when you're on the training court, and there'll be just a few points perhaps for them to get used to that, the ball speed, the way it travels, the way it moves, and the way things look around the court as well. Excellent work on that fast ball into the middle. Well, we've got two excellent setters on court. We've got the young and enthusiastic Gianelli with his height, reach and flair, and then we've got Maruf, a veteran setter for Iran, who just knows where to put the ball, knows how to find his players. It's going to be an exciting battle between those two.
Yeah, definitely. And as we just talked about the height of these players, I mean, Maruf is not the tallest, as we all can see, but he's a genius on the ball.
Yeah, he's only 189, and that is quite short at world level. But if you've got the skills, then height isn't always an issue. Gianelli with the serve now. Well, that looks like it's an unforced error. That one just going slightly long. And for number 10, Gafour, the ball was just appeared to be slightly in front of him, but they are going to go for a challenge. That's another good innovation, isn't it, for this game?
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, then we have that on the beach as well, and also for the people up here, it's kind of an extra factor. We all saw that from tennis, and it's good that we have it in volleyball as well.
And for those of you who don't know what the challenge is, well, the coaches have two opportunities to challenge a decision that's made by the referees, and they can challenge a block touch, ball in, ball out, whether there's a foot fault from serving, from attacking behind the 3-meter line, a centre line fault, also whether the ball's hit the antenna, and the last one is a four-touch if the ball's been played in the net and the referee doesn't believe the block's touched it. So plenty of opportunities for really good and fair results, particularly towards the end of a set or the end of a match.
There's one more factor that it actually makes it easier for the referee. So, I mean, that sport is so quick and the balls are hit so fast, it's almost impossible, even though he's having a very special situation being on that roof up there, but you hardly can see anything up there. So it really separates him, gives him a good feeling to not get yelled all the time.
Yes, the coaches are never happy generally when decisions go against them, and also as well the referee himself can call for a challenge if he's uncertain. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it really does. You just think, yeah, that's brilliant, because now we are all absolutely sure of the outcome of that decision, and it saves coaches having to gamble with a challenge. If you're successful with your challenge, you get to keep it. If you're unsuccessful, you lose it. Oh, good
wow.
read. Gianelli did exceptionally well, keeping an eye on that as it hit the net. Well, that's a shame. All that hard work doesn't pay off.
Yeah. But you see Italy, even now, as they struggle and they did not have a good start, it seems like, yeah, they're going to play volleyball as a team. Like you see four people actually reaching it really high awake and trying to compensate these two players which are not on court and probably called superstars on their side. But the team factor is big, and that's what they have to do.
Well, it's a chance for the likes of Antonov, who for the most part is a substitute player for Italy when Juan Torrena's playing, for him to come in now and do that and try and say, look, coach, I'm good enough to be a first six player. So there are always positives to take from the negatives in that respect, aren't there? That they can try and, you know, say, yep, I want to force my way in and you can count on me. And Italy doing a good job of that. They've got themselves back level now.
Yeah, that's a nice reach by Piano here.
probably one of the most difficult positions on the indoor game is to be a middle blocker.
Yeah.
A rare mistake from Lanza. That was quite a way out. So we'll head into the technical timeout, and it's Iran leading, but just by a single point.
I think middle blocker can be hard, but if you have to play against Maruf, it's even harder because he makes you moving the whole day.
And that's the timeline of points from side out of 2, with Iran getting 3, and then Italy coming back with a couple of their own. So both teams capable of getting points from the serving line. And it shows that their serving is pretty strong, but equally that their block defense, their ability to get the ball in transition is pretty good. Well, we're out here in Japan for this tournament. The women's event has been and gone, which China won, undefeated. A fantastic performance from them. Julius played some volleyball in Japan. It's a great country to come to play volleyball in, isn't it?
Yeah, wow. I mean, we just set up an interview 2 days ago with Yuki, the superstar, and it's been fantastic. I mean, we tried to sneak in a park and hide him from all the girls because he's a superstar, and I don't know that from Germany that the sport is next to baseball #2 here in Japan, and it's really nice to see people are loving that sport.
Teams back on an even keel now. Interesting pre-serve routine for Piano. And a side out achieved by Iran. Maruf with the serve for Iran, so they're into a good few rotations now with 3 front court attacking players plus a pipe attack if they need it, so they can create a 4-on-3 situation. Antonov getting the side out for Italy. It's a fascinating game, isn't it, the indoor game, with trying to create these mismatches to isolate players or overload players. It's all done so quickly as well. Unforced error from Italy. You get such a short amount of time as well as a passer off the jump serve to work out if that ball's going in or out. Incredible sport for that, for the speed at which things happen and the decision making of the players. Nice ball from Lanza. Although Gianelli having to go with the one hand, could only go to the middle that time. Well watched by Iran. A lovely commit block. So Iran good for their lead at the moment. Italian serve receive unit is way back on the baseline. Such is the power of this serve. So that's a much better ball in this time. And Italy get the side out. Antonov now with the serve for Italy. Well, that was a shame. Iran were under pressure from the serve, taking a couple of players down to the sideline, and they didn't get up quickly enough then to go and cover behind the attack.
Yeah, they could easily have been covered.
I say it so often, but you have to be switched on from the minute that the rally is going. You can't stand there and admire your pass.
That one was a little touch.
Yeah, that was a really good serve from Antonov.
It's the question about serving. That's what men's indoor volleyball is about. And I think that's the only key that Italy could bring up here. First time leading.
Well, it doesn't matter the level that you play your volleyball at, whether it's amateur level, junior level, all the way up to this level. If you've got a good serve and you can make that serve work, you are going to score points or give yourselves opportunity to score points from. And it's often been the question, I've seen it actually banded around, what's the most important skill in volleyball?
I would still call it service.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I think if you can't serve, then you can never win a set, you can never win a game. You have to be able to serve and put pressure on.
Yeah, that's why sometimes you have these sequences of 3 and 4 mistakes in a row. But if you actually face a percentage of a side out of more than 80 up to 90%, then it's a question like if you easily give it over and then you get it kicked back right in a second. That's why teams got more and more pressure on that.
And then again, as we see at the high level that we're seeing here, players set up for a really big swing, and then if it's a good disguise from the attacker, very difficult then to suddenly change your body position to go and chase down the short ball. Alt square again. Very nice turn across the body from side. He's showing to hit to 5 and going back across his body to 1.
Yeah, Maroof is really trying to score through the middle. Like once the set is, or the pass is excellent, he's actually using his middle blockers to deliver some points. While Gianelli, on the opposite, he's really tried to make the blockers moving. Because I see some advantages on the pass of Iran.
Hitting error from Piano. Very nice swing that time. And as you were saying, Julius, with Gianelli trying to move, he's trying to stretch Iran's block, isn't he? And he's got himself a one-on-one in this situation. Gianelli now back to serve. So Italy into strong 3 rotations with 3 front court attackers. Another big swing. Maroof once again finding the middle, and Iran finding themselves 2 points up at the second technical timeout. Well, those of you that have been watching from the first game would have seen Brazil against France and how they played. And now watching this one for Iran against Italy. Iran actually playing some pretty good volleyball at the moment. Always a threat. And this can never be easy. Despite, so obviously, Igor Kolakovic is an excellent coach, but we've got a language barrier. So he's got to get information across to his team. He's got to be translated, and he's got a little amount of time to do it in. So he's got to be careful what he says, hasn't he?
Yeah, probably, but I mean, it's not too difficult what to deliver now to your team. I mean, they're doing things pretty good. Probably tells him about keep the service pressure up, and Maroof's actually guided that team perfectly into the first set. So there's not much to change. But I give you completely right.
Well, that will do very nicely for Iran. Another unforced error from Italy, trying to go for a big swing. Yeah, when things are going your way as a coach, the less said the better, because everything's working. You're doing your job.
Yeah, and you see some overpacing on the outsides from Italy. Either that game changed a little bit because of these challenges. Like once you're not having a good position and you just swing against that ball and trying to go on that challenge once you miss it. Because even easy touch, little light touch, that could give you the point.
Well, that was a nice set from Gianelli, but he actually put it back to where there were 2 Iranian blockers anyway. Free ball now for Iran. Excellent play from Iran.
Probably the best so far.
But perhaps a question mark over Gianelli trying to force that ball to make it look good to go to Lanza, but it just played into the hands of Iran in the end. Nice work through the middle, and now Italy call the timeout. So Italy have made a substitution as well. Sabi has come in. See, he's an opposite player. As Italy try to make things happen. You see that run of points for Iran. Italy just 3 side-out points so far. Iran starting to walk away with this first set. Good pass.
I think he found that little sneaky spot to loop that in, and he actually did not hit it. But as a blocker, you need to somehow lock that net band with your arm, not touching it, but lock it.
Brilliant serve from Lanza. After that very clever play, he's come back with an absolute belter from the serving line. And at this level, you're not playing serve-receive, you're playing defense, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was probably about 110, I would guess. I mean, I heard that bouncing here.
Yeah, we're sat some way up in the gods watching this one. It's a fantastic view, but as you rightly said, you can hear the impact from these guys hitting the ball way up here. You know it's coming at you at a rate of knots. The only thing that got hurt that time, though, was the net from Lanza's serve. Oh, what a leave that is. Massimo Colecci did very well to get out of the way of that one. So Luca Spirito's coming in to serve and play some defense. Spirito, a new player in the squad. A setter normally. That's a wonderful swing. By the time he's hit that, Gafford, he's hitting that in the front row.
Yeah, here you see it completely. Maruf is really getting these boys moving. Backcourt, and 103, not lock block. You don't have a chance to defend that.
Maruf with the serve. And scrambling. Oh, that's a lovely play.
Another time it's Maruf making the difference by getting that ball up.
It was also good to see as well the outside hitter is Italy call a timeout. We talk about in volleyball having an in-system play, which is when you've got all your hitters available, and out-of-system play where you're setting from a bad position and maybe only one hitter available. That was an out-of-system play for Iran, and the quality of that swing was excellent. It showed the player had the right mindset, knowing he was not trying to kill it, just trying to make something happen, and getting the block out. Really good point.
Yeah.
When you get into similar positions, like when you're playing beach volley, for example, do you have similar sort of scenarios where you train that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in beach volley, if you talk about the aspect of defense, same as in indoor, like you create situations where you actually create a rally, but you're not having any chance to score a ball. And then you deliver the ball with the most difficult position for the opponent team. That's a question that you have to solve in indoor as much as in beach.
Well, Italy solving that particular problem with an excellent block.
Oh, wow. I mean, that height is about 3.3. I mean, we saw spike heights by 3.23.
Sabi blocks at 3.25 meters.
Yeah.
Now the net's 2.43 meters, which for those of you at home wondering, well, how does that relate? If you think about the height of the crossbar in soccer, in football, 8 foot is the same height as that, and these guys are getting that high over it. It's incredible.
And you sometimes don't get it through that pictures, but it's good to remind everyone out there how tall they're jumping.
So Iran 3 points away from the opening set. Make that 2 points away. Ace serve. Lanza getting beaten. It's an absolute belter from...
And service is key here in that match. And Iran is doing that a little bit better. I mean, Italy came back with that service, but 103, another one above 100. And team-wise, I mean, it's not just him. Everyone could do that.
They've got some good strength in depth around the servers for Iran. Oh, it's another one!
And I would guess it's even more.
Well, you talk about serving, having runs of 3. Get the first one in, then the second one a little bit harder, and then the third one you're really going for it. And what a time now to be thinking about going full on, set point for Iran, and loads of points to play with.
Yeah. I mean, the third one is probably the most difficult. I mean, I agree. He went from 103, and I would guess it was 105, maybe 108. But Italy is completely out of this match. They don't have any chance to separate him. No timeout left. They just had to somehow execute it.
Well, it's backs to the wall here for Italy as they go with the jump serve, and that's it. First set's done and dusted. A very good performance from Iran, taking it 25-19.
Yeah, another excellent job by Maroof. Gets the people moving, and Italy has to question that.
Confirmation of that scoreline as the teams change ends. Iran taking it by 6 in the end. Combination of some excellent jump serving and super distribution by Maroof. Italy back to the drawing board. A few questions to be asked about how they're going to stop Iran doing what they're doing. So away we go with the second set. Italy with the serve, but it's Iran leading by 1-0. That's another good hit off the top of the block and away. A little bit of frustration for Italy as they're unable to get that back into transition. So far, so good for Golakovic, the Serbian head coach for Iran. And look, good block as well from Iran. So a bright start for them. An instant point from their first service. Saeed it was with the block. Lanza managing to get that one away from the outside. Lanza doesn't look particularly tall, but he certainly is. He's 195. And one of the unsung heroes, really, for the Italian team. Very good pass with the ball, and then in tight situations, a player that can come up with the goods for you. And that time, Lanza getting block out as well. So good start for him, getting his team back into it. Good pressure on the service. Free ball now for Italy. Well, Lanza's looking for a touch off the block.
He's going for a challenge for sure. But the outside of Italy is too weak, I would say.
They do miss having Juan Terena. And it's a question now that Filippo Lanza has to step up and take that place of become the #1 outside hitter for Italy. So a little bit of pressure on him with that responsibility to carry. Well, Lanza was convinced it was off the block. They're having a good long look at it. There's real-time tracking of the ball here in Nagoya, so there's cameras everywhere that can look and see.
Yeah, you see that little left finger touching that ball. It's really good to have these challenges.
A successful challenge for Italy. They still have 2 left. Moved into the lead now as well. And Maruf once again, he's established the middle really early in this set, as he did in the last set.
And they deliver him so many points. I mean, this is a 2-meter shoot. Usually they go the quick one next to the setter.
Couldn't have a full-on swing, just trying to roll that one. But unfortunately for him, not the contact he would have liked, and a cheap point for Iran to take the lead.
Oh, wow, wow. He gets that. That's an incredible defense.
Free ball back for Italy, they have to go again.
And then you don't see that defense, but the king of that rally was the guy defending and bringing that rally up.
There was one super dig, but unfortunately for Iran, they were unable to make the most of it. Gianelli now with the serve for Italy. And a cheap point for Iran.
Yeah, Italy really tries hard to set up some service pressure.
Gianelli now has to forget that missed serve. He's got an offense to organise. Iran have it into transition. And they have the point as well. Very bad Badipur it was with the off-paced attack.
Yeah, there you see him All eyes on him. He's leading that team perfectly through this second set.
That was good work. There was hardly any room for Italy to work with. The player coming in front, Piano on the A-quick, and there was very little room for Antonov to try and go out wide as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of service pressure on the Iranian side, and then Italy is struggling in passing that first contact. So he has to go on the outside, and there you have to implement some new players.
Big serve from Lanza. No middle attack coming from Iran.
He tries that pancake, actually trying to get your fingers between ball and floor. Unsuccessful, but even the difficult situations on Iran, they find solutions. These tiny little roll shots or that drop behind the block.
So an easy lead for Italy. Piano now back to the serving line. Chance for Italy. It looked like it might have been going long.
It's actually the first time I see Italy in a difficult situation being successful. Antonov gets himself going.
Maruf once again going with the attack from the back row on the right-hand side. It's successful, and Iran lead by 1 at the first technical timeout, and by 1 set to nothing. Italy will be feeling a little better about themselves. They're hanging in there. They're not letting Iran get a big lead.
I'm trying to listen, but
it's always nice when you can hear what the coaches
there
are
you see
saying.
like the blockers. The middle blocker hardly can actually close that. Outside blocker is not possible with that speed. That's why Maruf is one of the best players in the world.
He has very little tell, does he? Once he goes up and plays the ball, until it leaves his hand, you just don't know where it's going.
You never see where it's going, no.
There are very few setters that can do that consistently well. Maruf is one of those. Ginelli is another, but at times Ginelli does show when he's going to go behind.
Yeah.
It's Maruf with the serve for Iran, leading by 1. There's a nice swing through the middle. We're seeing that, I think, more and more in the men's game now. The middle blockers, when they go up, they're not trying to hit the ball into the 3-meter lines. They're going deeper into the corners at 5 and 1.
He feeds his middle blocker from 1 second to the other. That's his way of playing. And so far it's incredibly successful.
Ibadipur with the serve. Great block timing from Iran to stop that one coming over.
Oh, pancake.
Incredible dig from Maruf, and he didn't commit a fault.
Oh, wow. And he gets it back.
Another chance for Italy.
Hey, great, great rally.
Still Italy on the front foot. They're knocking on the door.
Hey, wow. That's the best rally I've seen so far on the men's side.
That was just incredible stuff, wasn't it?
Big credits to the defender. Yeah, wow. Open hand. Rally. Half a minute of a rally. Wow. They have all right to celebrate it. There you see these two geniuses. Maruf actually on the net and the libero in the backcourt.
Fantastic play it was from Hidari. Two wonderful pickups it was from Maruf. Nice work from Antonov. Could see that the block was well formed. He wasn't trying to hit the floor with that one. Oleg Antonov now back to the serving line. Antonov plays for Calabria. The entire squad play their volleyball in Italy. That one won't be coming back. It's interesting that the entire Iranian squad also play their volleyball in Iran. Maruf has yet to be tempted away to any other countries to play his volleyball. Excellent block from Iran. 3 players up, nowhere for Italy to go.
And there's even another advantage we see so far. It's definitely the service, but it's also the blocking. And Gianelli is trying hard, but he doesn't succeed in getting these blockers moving. So we see a formation of 3 blockers here in the middle. That's his goal, to get these people moving. Getting the balls in the outside or with a good pass using your middle attackers.
So that's how the points have been scored so far in this set. Iran with a point from 9 and then another point at 11 to open up this 3-point lead. There are a combination of factors, aren't there, as to whether or not you're going to get the block to move, the quality of the pass in, and then the movement of the attackers around the setter. And if none of those are working well, then the blockers are going to have the advantage. Just a huge hit from Lanza. Oh, frustrated. Fauzi, he was in the right place, he just couldn't get his hips far enough under that ball. There's no way they could hit the ceiling here at the Nippon Geishi Hall. They couldn't kick the ball into the ceiling, so it doesn't matter how high they dig it.
There was no touch by a finger, that was hit probably against the net band.
Iran are going to challenge it. One of the interesting or fascinating things that came out since the challenge system's been in play was the fact that this particular fault, where it's been deemed to be 4 touches, they've all been reviewed whether they've been challenged or not, and it turns out that about 9 out of 10 times the ball has touched the block.
Yeah.
So it'll be fascinating to see whether this is one of those 9 or whether it's the 1 in 10. There you go.
Correct.
It's
I
incredible,
can call
isn't it?
you the expert now.
I am by no means an expert, but I think it's coaches. If coaches know that stat, then they'd want to challenge every time the fall was called. So a successful challenge for Iran. So that means it's a let play. Italy serve again. Oh, they've got themselves an ace. It was Ibadipor who shanks that one into the crowd. And Daniele Mazzoni will serve again. Italy are level. I think we're going to have a challenge for net touch against Iran. And, they're also just trying to check that the score's correct, because the last challenge was a let play. There were no, so whatever point that was given to Italy should have been taken off the score. I think that's just what the head coach for Iran is saying. I don't think that the score was, I the point was taken off when the challenge was successful for Iran.
Yeah, correct.
And Gini will be saying, no, it's fine, it's correct.
Yeah, they're not complaining about the in and out situation. Talking about the score.
Andrzejanovic is the second referee, just checking that the score's correct, and it has now been adjusted.
Now it's correct, 13-11.
Amir Ghafour with the serve for Iran. Well, that's a nice swing from Italy. An example then of Iran's block, actually, with it going up and then pressing, and by which time they were too late to shut that one down. It's a fine line between getting as far across the net as you can and matching the height that the attackers are coming at you with.
Yeah, and this time they keep the long line open, trying to position the defender, the libero, against that, but that was too hard driven.
That's a super block this time. Luca Vettori was up and waiting for that one.
Perfect hand position. Position themselves in the inside of that court, and then as a lefty, the antenna is the limit, and you just can't hit it inside.
Ginelli with the serve. But he was trying to turn that jump serve into a jump float. But unfortunately for him, wasn't a good contact. So Iran take the lead and have the ball.
That ball was way too far dropped. Could not hit it on the highest point, actually.
Italy scramble a side out. Lanza will go back to the serving line. There'll be some added pressure now on the next server for Italy, which will be Matti Piano, as both Ginelli and Lanza have missed their serves. That one just about finds the line. And Italy through the middle get their side out. Piano with the serve. Really good pick-up from Gianelli, but another chance now for Iran. Another pick-up from Gianelli. Iran now have worked an opportunity here. Everybody back deep for Italy to make that dig, and it's Lanza who puts it away. Italy with the lead into the technical timeout. Well, Italy, it would appear, just beginning to get a bit of a handle on what Iran are doing attacking-wise, making some good digs.
Yeah, momentum is on Italy. I mean, having good service pressure and then playing our excellent defense and being on the point when Maruf tried to hit that second ball and loop it in. But I agree, I mean, Italy is really facing a difficult situation, having Zaitsev not on court, who's the superstar, and John Torena is also not there, so the only question is to solve that problem as a team, and they're doing pretty well in this. They failed in the first, but they're doing pretty well in the second.
It's one of those situations, isn't it? Suddenly the responsibility for the success of the team is down to the team, and it can't be on the shoulders of the big stars when they're not here, the big guns. And a chance for those other players to show what they can do and why they're in the national team. So Piano goes back to serve. Italy with the lead, but trailing by a set to nothing at the moment to Iran. And Iran have their side out.
It's been difficult as an outside hitter. Ibidapur actually not getting too many balls because it's all about the middle attackers with Maroof now, but perfect play, I would say. Maroof was out of center, so it's been the libero putting the ball on point here and then going on the finger swing. Yeah. Block is a bit too late in touch and not locked. And Gafour easily searched for the finger.
It's a bit tight to the net. Another chance here for Iran. Good chase by Kolachi.
Oh, wow. No block. There was no block.
Well, Iran were thinking that there wasn't going to be a hard hit coming, weren't they? They were
probably
very
you
wrong.
Don't let him out of swing. There.
Well, it was a shame the replay didn't quite catch up, but as Julius rightly said, nobody bothered to go up with Antonov. And Iran pay the price, but they're given the ball back very cheaply by Italy. Iran just about staying in front.
Yeah. Italy really goes for that full swing every time now. That one was probably more than 120.
High to the middle by Maroof. Italy now with a chance.
Oh, another D, wow. And there's been a lot of credit to the setter, Gianelli. Really getting him just a single block and then it's easy swing, 104 kilometers. All right to be happy about that.
Well, that play levels Italy up 18 all. It's Iran looking to
And
side out to have
we
the
definitely
lead.
see that the defense becomes a factor in this match.
Oh, that was a clever play, or fortuitous play, whichever way you want to look at it.
And you can give another credit to Gianelli to deal that through in second contact, because the first one was pretty poor, I would say.
So Iran called the timeout as Italy take the lead. And as has been said, Italy have been really going as hard as they can from the serving line because they're trying to stop Maroof from running the middle. That was the thing that was the difference between the two teams in the first set. It's working quite well for Italy at the moment because Iran not being able to run the middle as much.
Yeah, once they go through the outside or back position one hit, they're not having that dynamic, not that height, and probably not that success.
Antonov with the serve. Well, there's a little bit of luck for Iran. Everybody was in covering around the 3-meter line.
Yeah, that's another challenge up here.
We're going to see whether that ball indeed was out.
The challenge by Italy. Ball in out.
You see that quite often. Player going out to hit the ball and then the other 5 players are all right up inside the 3-meter line.
In.
The challenge was successful.
Well, a very successful challenge for Italy and a slightly embarrassing point to lose for Iran because that ball travelled a long way and nobody got onto it.
Yeah, Iran is a bit out of play now. Score was not correct here. It's 2018. That's correct now.
Smart swing that time from Iran. There's going to be a substitution. Gara coming in and Faizi going off. So a serving substitution. Let's see whether Gara is up to game speed. Well, that seemed to be a bit of a timing issue, communication issue potentially for Italy, because that wasn't a very good swing at all from Vettori.
I've seen many situations with Gianelli and Vettori not being in good positions, even though the pass was exactly where it's supposed to be.
Iran have it into transition. And not the best set from Maruf for once. And Italy get the side out.
And there was the middle block was in Maruf's way, could not really set it properly.
So substitution reverse, Faizi coming back in, and then he'll wander off so that the libero can come in, which is number 19, Mahdi Marandi, as the passing libero for Iran. Good cover.
Another pancake.
Some big hits coming in on both sides. Well watched by Maruf.
Oh, wow.
Very smart, wasn't that, from Iran, taking the hands away.
Everything has been on shop in that rally. Pancake, confusion, all volleyball is about.
So a substitution for Iran, and Maruf's going off, and
It's
Salafzoon coming in, but he's a setter, so just a little bit more height at the net here for Iran.
probably that's the key.
There was a long look then by Lanza as that went past him.
And you see that set a bit too far outside. So all the sets, even from backcourt position 1 or the back set from Gianelli, it seems like they're not 100% on track there.
Italy with a slender lead, Gianelli with the serve. Good ball in options here for Iran. And they just about get their side out. Morandi off, and Hedari, number 8, the libero, the defending libero, in now for Iran. Momentum still with Italy. They're siding out to get the lead each time at the moment. And that's a brilliant leave by Massimo Colacci. And that's a look of total focus from Filippo Lanza. Straight away, Maruf goes back to the middle. Tried and trusted and successful Saeed. Italy called the timeout.
But you saw that hand actually sneaking in there. So that has been the future, that the outside blockers need to start in the middle. And if Maruf uses his middle attackers so much, you need to somehow get these blockers in the middle position. so that you secure that no one actually attacks through the middle line. But once you do that, he's going to set the ball outside.
And that could be very dangerous. Could then see a warm-up hit. Everyone tries to flood that middle, but it's such a tough decision, and I've got little time to make it. 23 all. First to 25 wins the set, and if we get to 24 all, the teams keep on going until somebody gets too clear. Italy looking for side out to get a set point. And they're given it. Unforced error from Musabi. It's going to be it is a serving substitution. Lucas Spirito coming in. He's going to have to wait as Iran call the timeout.
Yeah, for sure, Iran calls it. I mean, they have one left, and they want to try to break that rhythm, because the momentum is definitely on Italy.
It does seem as if they've settled the ship from that first set. Italy, they've now found their rhythm with the way that they're playing. They're dealing with the serving of Iran much better than they were. Lucas Spirito plays for Blue Volley in Italy. This 11 caps coming into this tournament, so a beginner really at this level, still finding his feet. That's a good serve. And a super block, and Italy take the first set, the second set, 25-23. It's their first set in the game, and it's 1-1 now in this enthralling match. Great turnaround for Italy. And something for Iran to think about. So the teams change ends, take a bit of a breather. Gini having a chat with Gianelli. Gini, a happy coach right now. His team are back in this one. Well, it's a fantastic arena here. The architecture is amazing. It does look like a spaceship's landed when you look at the ceiling. And here are the highlights so far from the match. So here are the statistics then from that second set. Italy with 1 ace, and somehow still winning the set despite giving Iran 8 points from errors. That's some going. They really had to work hard. Iran will be wondering how they managed to lose the set.
Yeah, and there has been the factor of defense and digs on the Italy side. I mean, they probably dig too much out of the middle, the quick ones and the heavy ones. But once the rally got open, they digged probably the double amount out of the first set.
Well, no changes for Italy as we get the third set underway, and no changes either for Iran. As the teams get ready to have at it once again. Badipur. Good lead from Lanza. Antonov. Oh, it's a great serve from Antonov. That won't be coming back.
Nice swing. Just 97 and on the libero, but completely out of position.
Antonov once again. Change of direction this time, but well passed by Iran, and they get the middle working. That's not an easy set to make, is it, when you've got you lose your sight of the middle blocker as he comes in.
Definitely. In the back from the middle attacker.
Good up by Colaci. Oh, brilliant.
Wow. I mean, even here you see Gianelli searching his middle blockers out of the first contact. I mean, that's a great defense. But in the first one, out of this side out, they have been passing the ball through the bump, which you don't see that often on the quick set.
Well, there's a few questions being asked. How on earth did that get played? It looked like Maroof had reached over to play it on Italy's side, but the referee let it go.
I think it was a touch by Piano.
It looks like Gianelli's taken a leaf out of Maroof's book.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I mean, we're talking so much about Maroof using his middle that it's all a question about the first contact. Once that is on the net band, upper hand set through the middle is the key.
Gianelli with the serve. And he'll quickly forget that. He's got to get his mind on organising his hitters now. Farhed Gaimi with the serve for Iran. Good up. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a carry called against Italy. They won't like that. They'll feel that came off of a closed fist. But the referee saw a carry.
And that has been another time delivering the ball by Maroof into that hand. It was not a full swing, just a loop.
Well worked pipe attack by Italy.
And no block on Iran. See here, he comes out completely free and swings that all through. Wow. That's an Antonov landing down there.
And then Iran come back with a lovely combination play of their own, almost a second tempo attack over the top of the middle block.
Yeah, just a single block outside, an easy swing, easy point for Iran.
Great dig. Well, Maroof had a little chance with that. He did well to keep it in play.
even there, I mean, first contact on Fatsi, and you don't see that often, but Maruf sticks to his strategy. It's incredible. Usually you don't feed the guy actually delivering the ball to you as a setter. Not so Maruf.
Free ball for Iran.
Oh, wow. Now he's even on scoreboard as an attacker.
I'm sure he'd be delighted. He doesn't have another hit. He's got a 100% kill rate now.
Yeah.
There's one question mark over Iran's free ball, and it's the number of times they're actually putting it too close to the net and giving themselves little chance then to put it away. They got this one into transition.
He completely overpaced on that one.
Amir Ghafour will not
was
be
a
happy
good
with
position because middle blockers have been away. Single swing on line.
How important is it when you're in that kind of play to hit through with a top spin on the ball?
Yeah, the top swing actually gives you the potential to definitely get the ball on ground, but second is that with that spin you actually have the chance to get any contact of the skin of that other player that you try to reach if you're not successful. So spin is definitely useful.
It's all square now, one apiece, 7-all. Piano with the serve for Italy. Much better swing this time from Iran. So we head into the technical timeout. It's Iran leading by 1 in a match that is all square at 1-all. Italy started brightly. And it's Iran who've made a few inroads to give them that 1-point lead. All upper body strength, isn't it, from Maruf? He didn't move his legs at all to send that ball behind.
First time I see him not jumping on a set. Another time, I mean, imagine, you just mentioned it, the height of a soccer goal comparing to this height, 3.16. And that was even one more I have in my mind, 3.48 by Fabio Ricci on Italy. These are heights like, wow.
Yes, in excess
Stunning.
of a metre above the height of the net. It's incredible, isn't it, where these guys go. So back into the action, it's Maruf with the serve for Iran.
Another great D. He can't get that.
That was unlucky. That would have been spectacular had he managed just to get in enough to bring it back towards his teammates. The advertising hoardings nowadays, with all the technology we have, are not as forgiving as they used to be. They're not made of cardboard anymore. So players definitely not go throwing themselves at them or the chairs. So an unforced error that time gives Iran the lead back. And that's one to forget for Ebadipour. Changes for Italy, Sabi coming in and Luca Vettori going to the bench. Antonov with the serve. Well, Sabi's introduction, not the best. He doesn't keep it in play. And now Iran move into double figures. It'll be Saman Faizi back to the serving line. Somehow Lanza manages to get that one to hit the floor. Italy were in a spot of bother off the pass, but Lanza rescues the situation.
Yeah, Italy made a switch, like all these difficult situations once the set is not 100% on place or your body position is out of control. The first day they actually went for the perfect swing. Now they're looking for the smart solution.
Big swing from Sabi. Makes up for his earlier error with the defense. And once again, Marou finds the middle for Iran. What a joy it must be to be a middle player for Iran. They're getting so much opportunities to have a swing. There's so many opportunities. Gaimi back to serve for Iran. And a big hit from Sabi, this time in the front row, position 4. Sabi plays his volleyball at Medina, so he'll be
perfect execution. Yeah, I agree.
He's one of those players. He's going to have a great season this season. There's Bruno, who's playing for Brazil, who was playing Super League, is going back to Medina this year. Now Lanza back to the serving line. Referee pointing one way. He's changed his mind now though, because it's off the block and out.
Yeah, and there has been a touch. And that one, you don't even try to score the ground, you just try to aim the fingers.
What we're seeing now, without a doubt, is the minute either team get a good ball in, there's very little chance for the other team to stop it. Piano with the serve. That was almost a free swing in the middle. Even with Mazzoni going up, couldn't stop that one from Faizi.
Oh, nice combination from the backcourt.
It's starting to play out nicely, isn't it? Because the middles are jumping with each other.
Yeah.
Sabi with the serve. Still nothing to separate the teams, and get the feeling that the longer this goes on, it might well come down to an error that could be costly for either Iran or Italy. That sees them lose this set. Good up from Marou.
That's a smart play. That's a really, really smart play. With every defense, they try to improve their situation on the hitting. And You saw the whole team covering these balls. Hopefully we see that ball again on a replay, because there have been all 5 other players waiting for covering the big guy hitting.
And even though Maruf, the setter, made the dig for Iran, Ibadipour's set back out to the right side was superb.
Yeah, and that was perfect. That's on point. And then finally you come to the position to feed your coach as he catches that ball up here. Perfect catch.
So Iran then with that 1-point lead at the moment, but neither team will be feeling bad about the way they're playing right now. Both will be feeling they've got a chance to take this set.
Iran loses a bit of that service pressure. That could give them that little sneaky advantage.
Didn't quite get the 5, did he, from up here in the commentary booth, just to take a little bit off it, make Italy play it.
Yeah, the throw-up was too far in the court, could not reach it.
Antonov now for Italy. That must have just been well, the problem, obviously, the ball didn't get out to Gafour. He must have seen a different call to what Maruf had given him. Maruf's apologising. So Italy now have the lead. Antonov with the serve. Oh. He's always travelling very close to the net, that set.
Yeah.
Maruf has his head down. It's a couple of setting errors.
He's a bit confused about, probably on him, the one that was completely missing, and even that one is too close. You don't see that too often on him.
Very rare indeed, but Italy will take it. They've opened up a 2-point lead now.
I think that face speaks for itself.
It'll be Antonov to go again. Good leave. Fine margins between success and a failure at this level.
Hammers.
That was a very impressive spike indeed.
Wow, down the line. No chance to D that. 111 kilometers per hour. To make sure you get away from that. That's the other way. Not searching the round, but searching that finger.
They say you don't get 2 points for hitting it hard. You just got to make sure it either hits the floor or gets off the block.
You always have to remember there's just 1 point to give in volleyball. Oh, almost got it.
Well, Gafour felt that, and Lanza apologising.
Seems like Gianelli has his guys on track now. Spike speed incredibly went up.
Gianelli with the serve, the leading #1 setter for Trentino, the #1 team for many years in Italy. Modena now pushing them
They're going for a challenge on that. It could have touched the line, so good to have the question.
Paolo is the first official, just checking.
The challenge. The challenge by Italy. Ball in out.
팀 이탈리 볼인 아웃に関するチャレンジ.
So an unsuccessful challenge for Italy.
The challenge from
So the score will be reversed.
But on 2019 you have to call it.
Pike working well for Italy as Antonov gets that one down.
He's completely on fire now. Love to see his backcourt pipe quick set. And instead of setting these quite difficult balls on the outside positions, generally searching Antonov now through the middle.
So Iran going to make a change, and in comes Gara, and out goes Musavi. Saeed he has on the back of his shirt. I don't think that was meant for the middle. Piano got a fingertip on it, which was good enough.
At the end it doesn't count. It's down on ground. But I give you right, that looks a bit, would have loved to see it one more time on a replay. But if you have Antonov on the backcourt and then your middle blocker needs to be a little bit quicker than the usual quick set has been done.
Spirito in to serve for Italy. He's been coming on as a serving specialist throughout the match. So that one is off the block and away. Nice swing by Gafour. But it's up to Iran to try and make something happen here, because Italy are quite happy to keep trading points at the moment.
Yeah, and even with that float serve, they put a lot of pressure on Iran.
Good chase. Oh, brilliant from Sabi. Another chance for Iran, better chance perhaps.
Oh, wow. And there you have to give a lot of credit to the libero. Wow.
Yeah, so Dari did exceptionally well, didn't he, to chase that ball down.
That has been the ending, but I really like the introduction of that rally, having that single block, defending it neutrally, and then the libero actually made the whole court getting that ball in position.
Often the liberos are the unsung heroes because it's the end result that everyone looks to when the ball is hit to the floor. So Italy have called the timeout as Iran have drawn level. Hedari is the defensive specialist of the two liberos when Iran are serving, and they bring in Marandi, number 19, to pass. So Maruf to serve again. Iran back on level terms. Well, Italy not happy. I think that was a double contact. Doesn't matter now though, the ball goes down. Well, you can have a simultaneous contact if the ball hits your arm and hits another part of the arm.
Yeah, as long as it is meant to be one contact, that's okay. So I completely agree on the referee on that point, even though it looks a bit silly or not planned. That's a reaction. It's a difference than having two contacts.
Good recovery. Oh, slowed down. Oh dear.
They call it... I thought they call it a miscontact on Maroof.
They've gone for a net touch against Italy, but
Italy's going to challenge this.
yeah, they think that Antonov's saying, I touched the net. Yes, I did, but outside the antenna. And if he does, that's fine. But if any part of him's contacted the that antenna which goes down that net, then it will be a fault. Andrej Zenovic, the second referee, making that call. There's the, yes, he has caught it. You can see that it's the
and that's an interference.
Caught the bottom of the net as well, the bottom of the antenna. They're still not happy, are they? Players are never happy with any decision that goes against them. Like Gianelli's still not happy.
Yeah. So it's good to call a timeout on that point, because, you know, the emotions on the Italians, we all know that they can be high, so it's good to cool them down, and because they played a fabulous third set over here.
And the introduction actually of Giulio Sabbi has been very impressive indeed. He's 2 meters and 1. He attacks at 3 meters 52 above the net, blocks at 3.25, but he is hitting that ball so hard.
Yeah.
It's great to be able to see him, because we very rarely get to see him, because obviously it's Zaitsev normally as the opposite player for Italy.
And I'm pretty sure he's happy to present his face over here, and we're going to see him a couple of times in the next years. Oh, wow.
Italy come again.
An incredible defense by libero Muraflakrani.
Wow. Just pure reaction, wasn't it? Getting his hands in the way.
Bam! Not that one, the first one.
Well, if he'd have stayed in his position, actually, he probably would have done the second.
As a libero, with these speed hits, you need to somehow speculate where to go.
Set point then for Italy. Antonov with the serve. And the set point saved. There was a suspicion that the serve may have been going long, but either way it was played. They have the side out, 24 all, so the first to get two clear is going to take the set.
Another one.
Well, somehow it's kept in play as well. Oh, good up from Maroof, but it's always going away from the rest of the team. Spectacular volleyball.
Defense becomes such a factor. It's been not only the big guys changing the momentum.
Set point again for Italy. And Maroof not shying away from going to the middle if it's available, and the set point again is saved. Oh, the call was out. It's been left. That'll be challenged.
Yeah.
It's amazing as well. One thing we've seen from the challenge system and from the videos that we now get is that how much of the ball impacts on the floor.
Yeah.
You've always got the whole circumference of the ball. It's incredible.
We're talking about a hard floor, not a beach volleyball court.
But still, there's something you don't see with the human eye. You see the ball bounce and go, but you never see that.
Oh no, that's out.
So,
But by direction of Maruf, actually, I thought, wow, that has been in.
it did look it looked a lot closer than it eventually was shown to be. So it's set point number 3 for Italy. And now Gianelli back to the serving line. Once again, the middle is effective for Iran. And the question is, can Iran engineer a situation that they can get themselves a set point chance? They've yet to do it.
Oh, it's the antenna hit.
Well, they have their set point now. Unforced error from Filippo Lanza as he's tried to cut that ball to the line.
I don't know. I mean, all the backcourt sets, they're not perfectly on place.
Gianelli losing his link to the player behind him at the moment. So now set point then for Iran, their first one. Oh, and they've got Italy on the back foot here.
Oh, wow.
A swing for the set.
And he executes. Oh, wow. And I told you, it's all about the defense. It's not only the big guys, but the big guys playing great defense. Well deserved by Iran.
Exactly right. They've done a brilliant job to turn that around. They saved 3 set points. They had 1 set point and took it straight away.
Yeah.
Italy will be feeling very frustrated. Iran will be delighted. They lead by 2 sets to 1.
It's good time for a kiss.
Oh, Italy have got to be wondering, how on earth did that happen? How did we lose that set? Superb play from Iran. So the stats then from that third set. Iran, 3 more attacks. Italy, 3 more errors. Italy, 3 blocks, cancelling out the errors. Iran, more digs. It was close. Fourth set about to get underway. Iran leading by 2-1. Antonov with the serve for Italy. And the first point, Ginelli deals with the overpass. Super swing from him. Antonov will serve again. Easy for Iran. Another big thumping hit on the pipe from Italy, from Antonov. Mazzoni. Well, Marouf's been linking well with Gafour in the main, finding his opposite. Savi's doing well. He was brought in as a substitute in the last set. He's now holding his place on court. See whether he can have the impact required from the beginning of a set to see Italy take it. It is a must-win set situation for them now to force this one into a deciding set.
You see both teams are still trying to find their rhythm, even though it's a float or a spin ball.
Ginelli trying to force that one to the middle. Well, they'll get a better chance now, maybe, Italy. Nice touch by Marouf, it won't stay in play. So a scrappy rally ends with Italy taking the point. Lanza with the serve. Ginelli's so good at that, his ability to find an attacker when he's put under extreme pressure from the pass at the net. And there's plenty of clips of him on the World Wide Web in those situations, one-handed and then going behind for a 10 or going out to 4. So you're never guaranteed where it's going to go, even though he's under pressure.
I mean, there's always the question, who's the best setter in the world? I mean, we all agree that on one hand, he's the best one.
So the error from Iran. Well, that was close, wasn't it? I think they're going to have a challenge, are they? No, no challenge coming. So Italy with a 2-point lead. Piano galloping in to serve. And Iran don't need to make any more unforced errors. Incredibly, Italy missing 3 serves, still find themselves 3 points in front. Interesting serve, pre-serve routine for Matti Piano.
Yeah.
side out from Iran. No matter what that pre-serve routine might be, it's still very important you have one and it's consistent so that it puts you in ready to serve that ball.
That's correct.
So at the first technical timeout, Italy have opened up a 3-point lead. Just saw then Kolakovic talking to his blockers, and what we saw was him showing hands going up and then across and then showing hands going straight across.
Yeah. You need to make sure as a blocker that once you enter the 2.43 stage, you need to really make sure you enter it. Put them right in front of the, or in the opponent's court. Not allowed to touch the ball first. Let the attacker go and then be there. It's not a question about, it's not always a question about height. It's about how deep you can reach into the opponent's court.
Yes, it's great if I can get up and I could touch the top of the referee's head when I'm blocking, but I'd still be miles away from the ball, and then I get too many angles.
Correct.
That's a big serve from Italy. And a huge block to back it up.
Oh, Italy's completely back on track now. Service pressure is on. Formation and block is really precise and locked.
This makes you wonder, doesn't it, if Italy continue to do this now and maybe get another 3 or 4 points with Iran not scoring, whether or not Iran's coach will start to take the first 6 players off and think we need to get ready for the 5th.
Not sure about the quality of the Iran's second starting 6, but I would not call it a question of endurance or power. It's more about mindset. I think Iran celebrated a bit too much the win of the 3rd, and then they lost completely concentration to start the 4th, because there is not, maybe it's a duration of 2 minutes, but nothing is won. I mean, it's up to win 3 out of 5 and not 2 out of 3. Sounds easy, but it's true. And you need to get a mind switch after every set, even after every point.
Iran then with the serve. They've got themselves to just 2 behind now. So cheap point for Italy. Oleg Antonov back to the serving line. That's a great serve from Italy. It will go down as a touched ace. Antonov making his mark. Morandi just let that ball hit him, didn't show a decent angle, didn't put a platform up for Maroof. Excellent dig off the overpass.
There's been a touch on the Italian side and no challenge requested, because Gianelli actually held his hand high. He said, I touched it for sure.
Yeah,
Smart move by not getting any interference or break, because they are on the lead.
They're better to admit the mistake and carry on with the momentum.
Correct.
Lanza just having a little look back to say, really? Did you get me? He certainly did. But Lanza's been hitting very smart. And I'll tell you what, that wasn't a bad hit either, but it's just a great block.
Yeah.
Amir Ghafour it was with an excellent block. 1 though, still 2 back. First you don't succeed, try again. And Glanzer gets it back. Great faith showed in him by Giannelli, going back to him, re-establishing him as a threat now. Mazzoni. Little off the shoulder number, which will work. Oh, he ran too smart for their own good, took the hands out of the way.
Yeah, they pull off the fingers. Thought that it's definitely a swing for... A lot of discussions going on the net.
Maroof does like to have a little bit of afters. He does like to have a chat with players. Iran and Poland, classic examples of that. When those two teams play each other, there's always trouble. There's always a little bit of niggle through the net. But Italy have done well so far, not getting involved in any of that stuff, just letting the volleyball do the talking, and so to Iran for the most part.
But watch that side of Maroof. Till the very end, you don't see where that ball is going in. And then he gets the blocker moving. Having the lefty on the outside is a big credit, because his line is completely open, and he fires it up.
That was a wonderful, wonderful set from Maroof.
Oh, wow. And this is the battle between Giannelli and Maroof. The question, who is the best? Not in the world, but today here in Nagoya.
Giannelli looking to back up that last play with a decent serve. It's not to be.
There's not too much rhythm now in the game, but if I'm Italian, I would do the same. Like, keep on service pressure. Either you serve an ace or bring up trouble, or you fail.
Glanzer shut down again in no uncertain terms by Said. Well, the ref just having a word with Maroof, saying, okay guys, just calm it down. I think there may be something else said through the net off of that block. There's going to be a challenge here. In fact, no, there won't be, because the second referee's already called the net touch. So Italy screaming. Blengini was about to go for a challenge. And now the second ref just telling... so there's going to be a challenge back then. Well, not, I guess, I say a challenge back. There would have been a challenge coming from Italy had the rally continued. The second referee's gone, no, net touch. So now, in fact, Iran are challenging that call by the second ref for the net touch. It's amazing, in fact, the number of times players don't even realise they've touched the net.
No. Sometimes you slightly, but
The challenge by Iran.
he touched the antenna.
How could he not know he's done that?
For sure he realized that. But it's a good proof about the height of this sport, actually. It's on, let's say, 3 meters 20, 315.
Big serve, but passing units are working really hard to deal with the weight of serve. And even with a couple of blockers against them, the hitters are also working very hard. Iran getting the side out.
There has been no touch.
Blengini may go for a challenge here to challenge the fact that it's been given as 4 touches.
As we saw earlier in the first set, even though there has not been a block affected, but maybe a slightly touch of the hand. No, I would not say there has been any touch. No.
Just as well, Iran's block didn't seal the net.
Unsuccessful.
So an unsuccessful challenge. Iran keep the point. Well, it's a wonderful dig. Unfortunately, though, Gafour could only turn his head. He wasn't able to turn his body and link into the play. So at the technical timeout, it's Italy who lead by 2. Up to 5 points, just everybody siding out. Then Italy getting a couple of points, then another one before Iran were able to get any points of their own from the serving line. It does appear as if both teams seem to have got the feel for each other's serving and getting a better ball in.
In general, these teams are pretty even. First set, Iran was serving like hell. They got that little advantage, and then Italy came back. It will be a tiny thing. Maybe another defense, like we saw in the third set, that makes the difference.
Piano for Italy. That one too hot to handle. And Maruf now back to the serving line for Iran.
Yeah, Gafour keeps them back.
Good covering.
Yeah, good save by the Ribera.
You just think how frightening it must be to be on the other side of the net when Sabi's hitting a ball like that.
Perfect angle hit. I mean, Maruf actually moved himself in the back or in the middle of that court. Somehow delivers some potential hitting point of his body, but there's no chance.
Like a mishit from Sabi that time. And you talk about defending and players, what they do when the spiker leaves the floor and they jump. The idea is to stop wherever you're at and play from there. But you do see a lot of times players still fighting to get into a position. And the opportunity then to make a dig is lost. That's a good ball in. Although the set appeared to be just a little bit too far in front of Sabi.
Stay with what I said in the first set of this match. All the settings for position backcourt 1 are not proper set. You see the attackers flying in, losing height, somehow waiting, losing their momentum, their tempo. So something, I don't know why, because usually on that level, see like Maruf and Gianelli, there's not much of a difference.
Now here's a look at it again. I'll tell you
He
what,
has to move to the outside, so his arm is not on a perfect spot. And he definitely doesn't touch it on the highest point. And he's all right to celebrate over there.
Ghani really reaching, didn't he? He actually almost completely outside his body line to get onto it. A combination of a wonderful block and not such a great hit.
Yeah, really nice to have an individual tactic in that moment, because he actually sees that as well. Very late, but he sees that.
It's all tied up then, 17 apiece. Iran leading by 2-1, and they have the serve. Unforced error from Italy. Not what you would expect of Lanza. Gianelli's done that every time, hasn't he? Every time the player has made a mistake hitting, he's tried to go back to them and re-establish them. He's done it again here with Lanza. Straight back into the game. And there's a good communication as well from Italy, because the server for Iran, who was jump serving, changed his mind, went with the float, and they all moved up to get themselves set for that serve.
Oh. Lucky him. A trickler. We call it a trickler. Yeah.
You can't legislate for that kind of a serve, can you? It could have easily been a point for Iran.
Yeah, maybe Maruf could have got it, but no, you don't really go for that.
Italy then have themselves the lead. Antonov.
Oh, wow. Perfect spot.
Brilliant commit blocking by Mazzoni. Game it was who couldn't get the ball away on the set out wide. And now Iran call timeout. Italy leading by 2. Well, what a turnaround we've seen. Italy got off to a really bright start. Looked like they were going to walk away with it. Iran got themselves right back into it, and now Italy have made another move again. Is there still a twist to come in this set? It's a spectacular venue here at the Nippon Geishi Hall in Nagoya. The fans filling up the seats, constantly coming in. Got another game to come a little later on, Japan playing the USA, and it will be full to the rafters for that one. Iran very happy to take that point without having to work for it. Serving substitution. Reset Gara coming in.
Oh, now it's 1-1.
Well, that's just one of those things, isn't it?
But at least it's fair, I would say.
Absolutely. For the neutral, it's fair. Italy will be feeling very hard done by right now. Surprised that Antonov didn't manage to bring that one back into play. Never easy to deal with. So 20 all. Gara to serve once again. Lanza finds a way through. Little change up then. Maruf was actually playing over as a defender at 5 instead of 1, which is why Gaza went streaking back across the other side of court. His only serve is a good one. That's a very clever swing from Gaemi. The blocking substitution as Maruf goes off and Salafsoun comes in. More height at the net for Iran. Very nice. Gianelli making out like he was a backcourt player the way he set up for that serve receive. Then he wanders in, nobody with him.
Perfect. good and easy and for sure effective point.
However, exactly as he did last time, he threw the ball down and got the point, goes back and puts the ball in the net, and he's done it again now. Sabi with some work to do. Chance here for Iran.
Smart push. Not a hard hit. He's searching for these weaker hands up at there, and then he pushed it in between the arm. Letterbox. We call it a letterbox.
Well, he has just delivered a winner.
However, it's a point.
Absolutely. Iran now 1 ahead. And Italy call the timeout.
For me, it seems like Iran is a bit cooler in these crucial situations. I mean, not going for this full swing and a bit more experience on their side.
This is a big point now for Italy.
Could be a little advantage by having Maruf on court now as a leader, a very experienced player. As Giannelli, born in 1996.
Well, despite his youth, he's still such a very good player. Finds Antonov, they side out to draw things level. He's just 20, what's it, making 21. It's incredible, isn't it? He's been with the national team for a few years now. Simone Butti coming in. Simone Butti's the captain for Italy. Looking for some blocking height. Put some pressure on Iran if they can. Lanza. Oh dear, oh dear.
Now it's match point.
That one wasn't even close, was it? And indeed it is match point for Iran. Has to go wide.
Oh, no, that's a block touch for sure. The ref saw that so clear.
Maruf not doing anything, just keeping cool and calm. It was off his hands and away. Match point save. So now it's the first to get 2 clear to take the set in Italy's case, or the match in Iran's case.
And now Iran, because Maruf is actually starting to serve, probably not the biggest server now, but having all big guys on front court. That could be the winner.
He's got 3 attacking options should they get this ball into transition. And they've done exactly that.
Oh, you should get out of the way. The libero got a chance. Why is he actually going for that?
What was Ibadipor doing? Ibadipor had given up on it, and then he
looks like soccer. To me, it looks like soccer. Why?
That was incredible.
Oh, Ma. You have to get that out of your brain now.
Nice
that's
play.
A smart decision, taking a timeout now. But I really would love to see that ball again. Because the libero, he was almost taking off to deliver.
Mustafa Hidari was all over it, wasn't he? And he was taken out by Ibadipor. It stopped him from getting it. Well, that was a chance, hopefully, for Iran. They won't rue that missed opportunity. But I guess at the very least, it was only to get it back into play.
Yeah. Now we're talking about the mental part of volleyball. I mean, you had that swing. I mean, that was a phenomenal block on the Italian side, but talking from the Iranian point of view, you got the ball in your hands, just need to deliver.
Sabi to serve for Italy. Still Iran looking to side out to bring up match points.
Oh,
brilliant serve from Sabi.
Wow. That's probably about 120 kilometers.
Zaitsev who?
Yeah.
Set point now for Italy. Well, he went for it, and fair play to him, because all Iran are doing now is just getting back level. It's Italy now who have the advantage. They are siding out for set point each time. Be another change for Iran as on comes Mohamed Javad. Mohamed Javad, Manavanajad into block.
Yeah, that's the... I still believe that this incredible play for swing of the match, that was a brain changer.
Manavanajad goes off. Antonov serving the set point yet again for Italy. Oh.
He executed that.
Well, that was all Maroof.
Yeah. All credit on his shoulders. Not an easy position as a setter.
Another set point save. 27 all. There is no cap on the scoring here. It just keeps going till someone can get too clear.
Oh. And now, giving all the credits on Gianelli. These two setters playing an extraordinary game. Wow.
Well, we just thought Maroof made a good set. Gianelli has just made the set of the match, and he's given Sabi a free swing. Set point again for Italy. The setters are definitely trying to outdo each other, aren't they?
Yeah, but now they know who they can rely on. For sure they're searching their big guys, their opponents, on backcourt one or on the outside.
Well, the last 3 points have gone to the opposites for each of the teams.
And Gianelli knows that on the outside there is Maroof for Iran, and if there is a weakness on him, there's just the height.
Yes, using the mismatch very well, Lanza against Maroof. And now a substitution for Italy as Luigi Randazzo comes in, 1.98 m. So, well, he's actually the same height as Lanza, but seems to be a better blocker perhaps. Certainly be fresher. And Maroof says, no, I'm not going opposite anymore, go back to the middle.
Yeah. And it's quite easy. If the pass is right on the net band, he gives his middle blockers the go through, but
Lanza back on. Oh dear. Well, for Gaimi, he was trying to make something happen, a complete mishit for him. And another set point for Italy. But as yet, they've yet to be able to get a swing for the set, Italy. They don't need one. Sabi makes the block. Italy take the point and the set. 31-29. It's 2 sets all, and that means we're heading into a 5th set decider. Oh, what an incredible match we've witnessed, and what an incredible set that was.
it has all that volleyball is about. Thrilling action, height, defense, and trouble sometimes with your colleagues. Remembering the match point on Iran.
Yes, you wonder whether or not they will rue that missed opportunity. Well, what it means now is we're going to have a race to 15. There's no technical timeouts, and once the team gets to 8 points, the first team to get to 8 points will the teams will change ends. The coaches still have 2 timeouts, and they also have 2 challenges available, plus 6 substitutions. Well, after those last 2 sets, 26-28, 31-29, how do you call where it's going to go?
I don't know. Let's switch a coin.
And do you know what? It may well come down to that, because the captains are now going to toss the coin with the referee to see who will win that coin toss and decide who will serve and who will receive.
Actually, that could be the advantage, because service will be the key, and defense, I would say.
Here are some of the highlights from that magnificent set. We saw some world-class volleyball. You can take your pick of the highlights, from serving to spiking and blocking and defending. He had it all. And Sabi really was just a beast in the opposite, as well as Lanza with what he was doing. Despite the fact he got blocked quite a few times, it didn't affect him. He went back, and every time he had a chance, he took it. Yes, some quality, and that was a quality set from Maroof.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. Almost down from by his ankles. And this was, as you said earlier, Julius, one of those decisions made by Gami to change what he was doing to make the block. And then it became a contest of who can hit it hardest from the highest point. I think it has to be said that Sabi won it with that one. That was incredible. That was the set taken by Sabi. And now we're just moments away from getting this 5th set underway. Here are the stats from that last set. Quite a few errors, really, but Italy giving away 11, but still managing to take the set. Away we go then with this deciding set. It's Iran with the serve, the race to 15 to see who will take this match. And a nice start for Italy, not having to work for the point. It'll be Antonov for the Azzurri to serve. Faisi getting that one down. Lanza working the block. Just like the previous sets, even though this is only to 15, you still have to win it by 2 clear points. And should we get to 14-all, just like the previous sets, keep going until someone can get 2 clear. Nobody wants to make a prediction, though, as to how this one is going to go, based on how the last 4 sets have gone. Gami finds a way through, finds a gap in the block.
Yeah, nice to see that with Gami on the outside as a lefty, he has completely different angles, and it seems like the Italian block formation did not notice that too well.
There's a chance here for Iran. What a dig from Antonov.
Yeah, smart.
Filippo Lanza getting the block out, but this is all about the dig. Look at that, Maroof didn't even put a block up. Maroof let it go. Oh, it's almost as if Iran had given up on that point. Now Gianelli back to serve. Well, at the moment, despite all his brilliant play, Ginelli, I think he's missed his last 4 serves in a row.
Completely lost control on service.
Gami now for Iran. Sabi went a little early. And then
that's a surprise. Maruf, probably the smallest player on court, gets that ball. Look, he keeps that arm up high. And usually you actually put them down once you go and land, but not Maruf.
Gami again. Oh, just had to check on that, threw it a little bit too far in front. Good covering by Piano.
Oh, wow.
So Sabi gets blocked, then he makes an unforced error. Iran now leading by 2. Blengini, well, he's not calling a timeout, he's calling a challenge.
Probably on a block touch, but I have not seen any hands above that net line.
Perhaps maybe he was looking for maybe a net touch then. Either way, Iran are pretty confident by the look of them that they're going to get this point.
No, he even took down his head.
A nice play from Iran.
But it could be that there is any other issue that somehow a player touched that ball, even though no one actually saw that, and then it would be a point given for Italy as well.
So now Blengini calls the timeout. Iran have engineered a 2-point lead in this deciding set. The brutal serve, but it's well passed to allow the pipe to be hit by Antonov. We're seeing more and more now at this level that the setters are working not at the net but on the 3-meter line and still able to deliver the goods.
For Antonov, it doesn't matter if he's getting that backcourt pipe. It doesn't matter if he's front row or back row.
It's a little bit tight to the net. Oh, that's brilliant work from Ibadipor.
And we have to give some credits on that, because even though we honored Maruf, but that one was not a good set and that was way too close. But in these brutal situations, these loops or sneaky balls they're searching for, they have all been successful. Clever by Iran. Wow.
Well, it stayed in play. But now Iran have a free ball back.
They take that for sure. I mean, I'm sure he was surprised by himself digging that ball. Hope we're gonna see that. Not, yeah, there one hand, and then good to have a colleague like that.
Well, what a difference.
But sometimes it just makes sense to place your arms right in the position of that ball to somehow get hit by it, not controlling it, but getting hit.
Yeah, for once, the fact that he was turning as it went past and it's caught him, it actually worked in his favour. A stroke of luck for Iran. And despite the missed serve, they still lead by 2. Piano now with the serve for Italy. And there's definitely a confidence about what Iran are doing at the net at the moment. If Ibadipor puts that down, and at 8-5, the teams will change ends. 3 points down in a deciding set. Mindset must be quite different to how it was. Just wonder what they're thinking, what the coach must be trying to do for Italy to get them back into this. I guess it's important not to let the fact you're 3 points behind affect what you're doing.
For sure. And Italy's trying too hard to break that momentum on the side of Iran. And as they have a timeout, 2 challenges, there are some options to break the rhythm. Hard for me up here, because I would like to go on and watch who's winning.
And this is where it really counts. This is where the players can ill afford any more errors. But that's the last thing they'll be thinking is, I mustn't make a mistake. They're going to want to play their game. They want to try and force the issue. But I guess in these situations, well, when you start to chase the game, that's when the errors can occur. Maruf with the serve. Just when you thought they were going to get something done.
Yeah.
That's a beach block.
Yeah. I agree.
Big spread block.
I never blocked like that, but spread block we call it.
So Italy find a way back in. Now Sabi can hit a very effective serve. He's going to need a couple here if he can for his team. There's one of them.
Oh, wow. He turns in the last minute. I really want to see that ball again.
That was an amazing set.
There he turns. Oh. This is the beautiness of our sport.
That might have just been the answer we were looking for as to who is the best setter on court at the moment.
The answer is given.
Maruf makes a brilliant dig. It is all Iran right now. And they are beginning to run away with it.
The roof is on fire, I would say. Great dig on his side. I mean, he can't attack, but wow.
So Ginelli gets the side out. And it'll be Antonov back to the serving line. But this is a long way back now for Italy. 4 points behind in what is a race to 15. Blocking substitution, Buti is in. And off goes Daniele Mazzoni.
You can get it.
Well, it was a shame. He was right by the cameras, unfortunately, so couldn't go and pop the advertising hoardings. But what a set from Maruf again.
There he is.
Iran are now just 3 points away from taking this match. Gara on to serve. Gianelli was scrambling, he could see what was coming. As a front court player, he's entitled to go up and try and block it.
And this time it's not the speed serve, it's the float serve that makes the difference. Not happy faces on the Italian side here.
Well, Vittori's been a spectator, having been substituted out for Sabi. And that substitution ultimately doesn't appear to have paid off.
Excellent defense, really deep at 6. And you see him On the other side as well. Oh wow, by Gianelli. He loops it with a left. Wow.
Gianelli having to pull out all the stops. Keeping it to the
I would
end.
love to see that again in the replay. Even though we're bagging, we don't get it.
So Gara going off.
There was no chance for Gianelli to set that ball or making any other effort.
He did spectacularly well. Now Booty is going to serve. It's a good serve. That's a double touch.
And now it's... Both teams are struggling in passing with the float serve now. Kind of interesting. They were hammering down that ball for 1.5 hours almost, and now they give up these floaters and people are shanking.
Booty once again. Oh, it's off the block.
They call it a touch.
So match point now for Iran. And another blocking substitution, so Maruf goes off. He'll be hoping he doesn't have to come back on.
He would deserve to be on court.
Salaf Zun has come in to replace him. So the first match point is saved by Filippo Lanza. Maruf will come back onto court. 4 match points now. Gianelli with the serve. Oh, it's a decent serve. There's no middle coming. And the block is good. Another match point is saved. And a timeout called by Iran. Well, now more than ever, they have to stay focused and mustn't think that this is finished.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's good to call yourself or concentrate yourself on the basics. Now, good pass, get the ball right on track. Maruf will take it, and then he's probably searching for his opposite, or, as we all saw it in the last 4 sets already, or 5 sets, that if the pass is right on the net band, he's gonna go for his middle attackers. If not, he's searching for the long way, get the blockers moving, and then probably going for his opponent. But first of all is make yourself ready for this pass and get the ball right in Maruf's hands. That's what you have to do now.
So, 1 good ball in should be enough for Iran to take the match. And Gianelli is back to serve once more. And he's going for it with the jump serve. It is a good serve. But it's all over because Iran run that middle ball.
But that was probably the most difficult of all we saw. And it has been his middle blockers taking that win home.
15-11, the final score in the final set. Iran taking it by 3 sets to 2. The Iranian fans delighted. An epic game of volleyball that we have witnessed here in the Nippon Geishi Hall. Just the second match of this FIVB World Grand Champions Cup for the men. The consolation for Italy being that they take 1 point for taking it to 5 sets. Iran only get 2 points for winning in 5. But Iran delighted nonetheless. They have their victory. They're off and running here. And for Italy, there'll be a long, hard look at how that didn't quite work for them. An epic battle between Maruf and Gianelli. And the players thanking the fans. Iran still celebrating. Well, what a game that was.
Yeah, I'm still stunned. I mean, for sure we can talk about the different strategies and philosophies of setting, but At the end, I think it was a bit of more defense on the Iranian side, and definitely the comeback.
So handshakes all round. Maroof goes to sign the score sheet. And just having a little chat with the second and first referee. The players taking on plenty of fluid. They'll need to do that, stay fully hydrated throughout the course of this week. It's going to be a tough old week of volleyball. And down on centre court we have Fred Crusoe ready to talk to Maroof.
That was a fun match to watch. Was it fun to play in?
It was very good for us to win this match because 3 months ago in the World League we lost against Italy. We knew that we can win this match. We played with concentration. In some part of the game we had a crucial moment, but we can manage that. I'm so happy.
And tomorrow you're playing USA. Is that a match you're looking forward to?
For sure it will be a nice match. Everybody knows that USA is one of the best teams in the world. We will fight and nobody knows what will happen, but we will fight to end of the match.
And you have many Iranian fans here. Can you give us a message for your fans in Iran?
Lots of Iranian, they follow our result here. Thanks to all of them. Merci.
Well, some wise words, some cagey words from Maroof. He knows that they've got a tough game to come tomorrow. There's no easy games here, but what a magnificent match it was. And Iran, no doubt, delighted to have won that one by 3-2. And as Maroof said, having lost to Italy in the World League earlier in this season.
Yeah, Italy is facing a difficult situation now. I mean, we mentioned that earlier. John Reina and Zaitsev not on court, not in the team right now. No one actually knows. We spoke to the team manager before this match. No one really knows what's going on. And that impacts a young team, even though they have Olympic experience. But yeah, it's gonna be an exciting time for them after this Olympic change. I mean, every team sport is having these Olympic periods, and then in the first year after the Olympics, that happens from time to time.
So here then are the highlights from the match. Here then are the statistics from that last set. Italy with an ace. Errors-wise, just 2 errors each as well. That's pretty good going. It was a very entertaining match, an entertaining last set. 2-1 blocks. There was hardly anything in it, but it was the attacks in the end from Iran that was the difference. Italy not able to match them with that. And then as we look at the match as a whole, the stats from that, I guess the top line's always the important one. 3-2. Italy 8 aces, But look at that, Iran making almost 2 sets worth of errors, if that's to be, well, in fact, Italy making 2 sets worth of errors against Iran's 1, and ultimately that would have been the deciding factor in the match overall. Italy with 15 blocks, they out-blocked and out-aced, but made more mistakes. That'll be something Blencini and the coaching staff will be looking at. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the volleyball here. It's been a very entertaining match. This is how the table currently looks. Brazil are top, Iran are in second place with Italy in third. That'll all change, no doubt, during the course of the week. My thanks to Julius Brink for his expert analysis, but for myself, Clayton Lucas, and the rest of the volleyball crew here, it's time for us to say goodbye.
Goodbye for now.